It's very cool.
Welcome to the BigAss Poker Show, everyone. We are live from fabulous Las Vegas, or at least four of us are. I'm live from beautiful Eugene, Oregon, out in front of the High Mountain Poker Palace. But everybody's sitting down on the couch in fabulous Las Vegas, along with tonight's special guest, Steve G. How you doing tonight, Steve?
I'm doing great. We're sitting here in the VIP room.
It's a beautiful VIP room. He's joined with Vegas Angel. Say hi.
Hi.
Dr. Rudy.
Hey.
Heather, Sly Poker Girl. Stick your head in the screen. At least say hi. Now, Heather, we're going to need you to come out and model. The jackets are out. These are our Team Pro jackets. Come on over in front of the camera. Do a little dance for us, Heather. Show us that beautiful Team Pro jacket you've got on from the BigAss Poker team. There we go. If you guys are interested in picking up one of the jackets or T-shirts, get in touch with Sly Poker Girl, and she'll get those out to you right away. But we're going on with the show. Steve G, you guys take over.
Well, it's good to have you here. We're a lot of poker pros are a little standoffish, but Steve seems to be quite the personable guy here, and we're really happy that he made it. A few things I wanted to talk about tonight was a little bit about your history, a little bit about how you got into playing poker, and a little bit of where your roots are, how you started all this.
Well, I don't think my story is any different than most pros. I mean, like everybody, I'm sure like everybody in this room, I started out at a friend's house kitchen table playing nickel dime quarters. Right? We didn't play Hold'em though. We're playing, right? We're playing like 7-card stud, 5-card, Omaha high low, 7-card stud high low. So we play all the dealer's choices. Low card in the whole while.
So you started off in your own home, playing with your family and friends?
Oh, actually with friends. I mean, I started out in like junior high school playing with all my buddies in junior high school and high school. And I didn't really have a wealthy upbringing, so I didn't have any money. And actually, my poker games, I got my allowance money. All my friends got allowance, but I never got any because my parents couldn't afford it.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I pretty much got my spending money all the way through high school and college.
So when you started and you would have little scores, did you have any kind of specific bankroll management strategy, or?
Not in junior high school and high school. I think after high school, when I turned pro, I did have bankroll management. But I think I started out with like way back in like the late '70s, like $1,000 bankroll. And that's how I built that $1,000 bankroll actually up to $150,000. But I started playing like 50 cents, $2 low ball draw, 8 to 5 low ball draw. And like within 2 years, I'm playing the 120, the 100, 200 draw in LA, and the 120 in the Bay Area.
From $1,000.
Huh?
From $1,000.
Right.
Wow.
But I grinded. I mean, like I don't have the same desire and motivation like a lot of these, like tournament grinders. A lot of these young guys are putting in millions of hands. But back in the days, I did play 60. I did put in 60 hours a week for the first couple of years, only because I was driven by money because I didn't have any money. But now, I'm at a point now where I just play if I feel, it's nice to be at a point where I get up in the morning. If I want to play, I play. If I don't want to play, I don't play.
But you do play tournaments.
Well, now, but at the time, they didn't have tournaments. I didn't even know they were playing the World Series in Las Vegas where Phil Helm was winning all those races. Because they didn't have the internet, so you didn't get that information. I'm just grinding 100, 200 low ball, still in my bankroll.
Wow, so that's very interesting. I mean, you started off with literally no bankroll, built yourself up. Is it something that you feel like if you had to start completely all over today, is that a reasonable expectation that you feel as though you could do?
Well, I think if you have to, I think a lot of the young men, if you read their stories online, right, they start like a really small deposit and really work their way up. So sure.
So online is the way.
I think live is a lot tougher because the rate. It's hard to beat the rate playing 4-8 limit hold'em. The rate is just too high.
For sure it is. Oh, very interesting. So, what are you doing nowadays? Is your main goal just to cruise around and play all the interesting tournaments?
No, I was saying that until I made the final table, I was actually putting in maybe 120 hours a month grinding cash before I started playing tournaments. So I was a cash game grinder, and I played pretty much every day. But now, I'm not as driven by money, so I don't really like playing cash anymore unless it's like big. I mean, we play 20-40 at the Bellagio, I'm there. 10-20, sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not. So right now it's more tournaments for me, and it's more of a, I guess, like a sense of ego, right? But you know, I'm not really playing for the money. I'm really playing to try to achieve something at the end of the title.
Wow. Oh, well, I'm sure the money wouldn't hurt either. When it
Well, of course. Yeah.
Well, very cool. So where's your favorite place to play here in town?
Well, I play like 99.9% of the Bellagio.
Oh, wow.
Because that's why the big games. I can't play, yeah. During the World Series, I stopped at the win a couple of times. Sometimes during the summer months, they do get the big league.
Nice. Well, speaking about the Bellagio, you're currently now playing in the 5-Star Classic, I believe it is.
Yeah, it starts the main event starts on the 15th.
Okay, what is that buy-in?
Well, it's a $10,000 buy-in with rebuys. I think for the first 6-7 months. I think last year I only spent one bullet last year. I didn't cash, but I busted out after the rebuy period. But if you read like the blogs and stuff, you know, where like Daniel, Toronto, Vanessa and stuff, they're buying like 5-6 bullets, you know, right? It's kind of crazy. It's crazy money, right?
It is a little crazy. Do you expect the fields to be worth that many bullets?
Well, I think if you make the decision to play a rebuy tournament, you should rebuy. Because if you don't rebuy, you probably shouldn't play it. Because you're not really giving yourself a chance.
True.
So you have to really be committed to the rebuy if you're going to play.
What do you think the field's going to look like this year?
Well, I think overall the WPT fields have been a lot tougher than the World Series field. The fields are generally smaller, but they're more loaded. Whereas like the World Series, it's like 3,000 players, but there's a lot of weak spots.
A lot of weak pockets.
Right. Whereas the WPT, you're pretty much starting off tough tables.
I learned the same thing. When we played in Reno, it was a small field, less than 200 players, but the players that we went up against were very tough.
Right, they know how to play. They did it right.
Some local, I mean, you're familiar with Reno, Sacramento pros.
I played one tournament at the used to be like the Reno Village.
Yeah.
It was like Conical
GSR now.
Yeah, way back.
They did the WPT at the Atlantis. I heard they canceled the Conical, unfortunately, due to not being coming close to their guarantees.
Well, I haven't played anymore. I did that early in my career.
I think I saw that
tournament. Yeah, field for tournament. But when I won my first bracelet, they were saying like, "Who is this guy? His biggest score to date has been like 5,000. Right? When I scored that bracelet for 500,000.
Yeah.
That's
gonna
awesome.
be us one day.
Kind of the interesting thing is like I've never ever won a tournament until the bracelet. I played a small tournament and never won.
But it was the bracelet event that you had. It was your first thing.
Right, it was my first tournament win. Had any buy-in left.
Wow.
And that was a WSOP bracelet?
Yeah, that was a World Series bracelet.
Okay. So
Yeah, that was the year you
That was
played.
like a 3,000 player field. Yeah.
And then you win.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And then you had a back-to-back with friends in the main event.
Yeah, I actually, like, when I won the bracelet, I didn't really get a whole lot of notoriety because I had a no for. And I mean, like today, I feel like the main event final table is a bigger compliment to the bracelet.
Right, yeah.
Well, you're
It feels like it to me, even though I didn't get it.
It's
so
true.
I didn't get any hardware like you guys did.
Well, you got a bracelet, though, but for the final table.
Not for the final table.
Right. I think that personally, you're mostly known for final tabling the main event, and then of course, got really close the year after. The bracelet, I think, to me personally, I think that's an ironing moment that I felt like was huge for you, and I think it's very respectful. Final table is cool, but that bracelet, come on.
Well, yeah, but
how can you undermine that? Yeah.
We're from Sacramento. We're rooting you on. We were in Sacramento when you made the final table. And
I keep forgetting you guys are Sacramento guys.
Yeah.
We had to go for our Sacramento guy, Elk Grove, right?
Yeah.
So we were rooting you on, but so it was a lot of fun to see somebody from Sacramento. I'm like, no way, So hopefully one day. I mean, now we wouldn't be Sacramento local, we'd be Vegas local, but that was pretty cool to have somebody that was from our hometown.
I didn't really have any expectation when I played in 2010. But at that time, I'm a cash game grinder. After crushing the cash game, I was playing tournaments just to play. I didn't really think I could win. No, it seems to overwhelm me.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start with, it's like a football stadium full of tables, right? Up and down, and you see like Clemson there, Ivy there, like Ronald there, and you don't really think you're going to win.
Oh, wow.
It's scary.
That's
It's huge.
Well, now I feel, I mean, at the time I just felt like it was undoable. I mean, you really can't win. But after I won, then I said, oh, yeah, I can do this, right? I mean, it's possible.
Now you can visualize the finish.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, now you can.
Get through that.
In the final table, so, yeah, I can do this.
Oh, that is really cool. What did you think? What was going through your head? You won your bracelet. You knew you had a bunch of money coming. What was your first thing for your first tournament victory? He said, you know what? This is a huge score. I'm going to just donate it all to charity, or I'm going to buy a house. What
Let me give you my number.
What were you thinking you were going to do at this point? Once you hit that bracelet, you said, wow, I had $500K coming. I'm going to do what? What was your thoughts?
I didn't really think of it like that. A lot of my friends said, well, you know, yeah, 500,000. I'm like changing money. And I'm like, not really, because I've been crushing I'm crushing the 100
live cash. Yeah.
limit total for a lot of years, playing with like David Bates or Mark Newhouse all the time at the time. I'm a regular player there.
Wow.
So the money wasn't really life changing for me. It was more like a kind of like a announcement to the world that here I am, like as a tournament player.
The surface.
Yeah, here I am. That's how I kind of like shocked the world, shocked myself and shocked the world. Especially when I've never won a tournament, my biggest goal is 5,000.
That's amazing. I really like to hear that too.
It wasn't the money, it was just like, it kind of really told me that I do belong. Because I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I said, do I belong with these guys? But when I won, I said, yeah, I do belong here.
Now, to win a bracelet like that, you said like 3,000 sealed. Tell me, is it imperative that you do a crap load of coin flips, or do you feel like you could kind of get there by holding out for the best hand? What was your strategy, or did you have one when you won that bracelet?
I do know that there's two different schools of thought. There are some players that like to ram and jam and go for the coin flips, but I really play more like a small ball style. I don't really like to get all my money in and try to like grind up like a cash game. But I do understand that in the $1,000 no limit, where your starting chip stack's not that big, you do have to take some risks. So it's imperative to get off to a good start in a $1,000 buy because you don't get that many chips.
Yeah.
Whereas like the main event, I'm really deep in the 2-hour level. I mean, it's a great setup for me. It's like a cash game.
So how many flips do you think you had to endure to win that bracelet?
I don't really remember. I don't think there were that many flips. I don't really play like that. Say, let's get it all in there and go for a fun flip. I'm really trying to like ram and jam and try to control the pot and fluff at the right moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't
really like to just get it in there and just flip for it.
Rudy and I decided we don't win flips. So it's best.
You have to sometimes.
Sometimes you do.
It's important.
Absolutely.
I lost one today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember.
But it's best to not be in that situation if you can help it.
I mean, like my first World Series main event back in 2009, and I had busted out in day 3, just short of the cash. And I had never even got all in until my final hand.
Wow.
That tells you, right?
Wow.
And even then, I got it in with the best of it. I had like pocket 6s, I had pocket 3s. We got all in. And he blocked the 3.
Wow. And you remember that.
Of course. And then, like, actually on TV. And then that first year was Roland, what's his name? The European Poker Tour, World Poker Tour winner. Anyways, we got it all in on TV. And I had pocket queens, he had pocket 8, and he turned an 8. I uncovered those. So,
so brutal how it works.
And you have to be good.
But I don't really try to,
I mean, I'm like, still homies. I'm like, bleep, 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 bleep. I'd be bleeped, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't want that image, so I'm trying to like bring my poker cheese.
And it's not really right or wrong. But you see some players play, right? They king queens all in. It doesn't really matter how deep they are. They just want to get all in and double up. And that's like a lot of times those guys are like the chip leaders. Like for me, it's hard to be a chip leader when you're not willing to gamble with, right? Either all in and try to double up on the first day. I'm trying to like survive the first day.
Exactly. It's a marathon, though. It's a marathon.
That's like I'm like you very, very seldom see me as a chip leader in anything. Yeah. But I'm trying to slowly grind up where other players. Let me double.
So do you have any books out there, or do you plan on doing any work like that, or
books?
You gonna write any books?
Oh no, it's not. I just don't see myself doing that.
Okay.
I'm more like right now. I'm trying to reduce my hours in poker. Right? Like trying to find a balance in my life.
See, you look very happy. You look healthy. Yeah.
The time that I have, I really want to play high stakes cash games and big tournaments rather than spending time, writing a book. In fact, I had when I made the final table, we have this player agent. I'm surprised there's actually player agents in poker. sign an endorsement to, have them be my agent. But I wasn't really interested in traveling the country doing even 3 to 14 tournaments. That's not really what I want to do for it. It was 1,005 titles. I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to play tournaments and cash games. Yeah. I mean, I was looking for like a sponsorship deal, not a post,
Absolutely. Well, that sounds cool. I mean, what is your so your future plans is to find some balance with your life, maybe taper poker down. I noticed you like to travel. I think I saw some pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah. At this point, that's what I'm trying to do. I just want to get up. If I feel like playing, I'll play. If I want to go to Europe, I'll go to Europe. I want to go to Asia, I'll go to Asia.
That's very cool.
That's not going to
That's gotta be rough. That's gotta be rough, dude.
But it's hard for me to be player of the year like Kessler. Like Kessler's like every week he's got to stop somewhere, and that's what you need to do to win player of the year.
You got to keep.
And I'm not willing to make that kind of commitment. So I'm never ever going to win. Although if I was like in my younger days, I would do that. When I was putting the 60-hour week, that's what I would be doing now. Every tournament stop. But kind of like as you get old, your life just the priorities just change.
See, I'd want to do what you do. I want to get up. If I want to play, if I want to go to Europe, I'll go. Yeah, that's
So, you've been all over the world. Where's your favorite place to play poker?
Well, I still tell everybody my favorite city in the world is actually Hong Kong. I love my second is Cannes. When I was there for the WSOP year, my 2 favorite cities are Hong Kong and Cannes.
And you ate a chicken butt over, right?
Huh?
Was that what that was?
What?
Yeah. You had some delicacy that you bought off the street and ended up being,
In Hong Kong or
I don't know. You tweeted it.
Oh, yeah,
You ate
Thailand. Did you know they eat chicken butts over there? Because I didn't know.
I've never heard of a chicken butt.
I'm at like a street vendor, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking they're like grilled chicken breasts, right? Like, give me 2 sticks of those. I bought 2 sticks of that, some beef, some pork, and I bite into the first one. It's like nothing but that.
Right.
I didn't think it wasn't their fault. It's my fault for not asking.
Right.
But I just was under the assumption that who eats chicken breast? Why should I even have to ask?
Why would you have to ask?
Why should
never ask.
Why should I have to ask? It looks like chunks of chicken breast. So I'm like, oh man.
Oh, God, I remember that.
Rudy
That
was laughing. He
That
woke me up. He was laughing over that in the morning.
It was funny.
Who knew people did that? Hey, chicken butt.
Yes.
I would never think to ask.
Nate, would you eat chicken butt?
If it was cooked properly.
I'll try anything twice.
I'm not eating it. No.
Chicken butt. Yeah, that was
What do they
great.
call it? What is it actually called?
Delicacy.
Yeah.
A delicacy. Hey, you want to try some assholes?
And although I did eat snails in France, but I did that knowingly, right?
Right.
Escargot.
Yes, I had escargot before.
And they were pretty good.
You like those?
They were pretty good.
I don't like them. They remind me of sardines. They taste a lot like
You have
sardines.
to get over that visual.
Yeah, I think that's
of the
the
garden
problem.
snail.
Yeah, I think that was my problem. Was I couldn't not.
But I did like that. What they call that?
I don't know.
I had that in
River?
It's outlawed in
Wow.
California. We're from California. They outlawed it. Can't have that. in California.
I did not know that.
I wouldn't
Goose
even
liver?
think to eat goose liver like
Liver.
That was pretty good.
I've never had it. I just wouldn't know. I didn't know it was outlawed either. That's strange. But, wow. So do you play any local tournaments here in town when you're here? If you get bored and you know, a little smaller by it?
I would have, but except I was in Sacramento during the Thanksgiving break. I heard they had like a apartment poker tour
Yeah,
and a WSOP circuit. I would play those. I would play like the.
Planet Hollywood. It was huge. It was $1 million guarantee for 1,600, right?
Yeah.
And then HPT didn't have a guarantee, but still the same price, 1,600. So those back-to-back events.
I would play those locally. I mean, they have like the Heartland Poker Tour, the circuit event, the MS event, MS event. I would play the main event of the semi-finals tour.
Right.
I don't even play the prelims of the World Poker Tour. They're going on right now. I'm not playing it. They have like $1,000 buy-in at the plaza.
You're interested in the title.
Well, during the World Series, I play everything like everybody else. Like they all race at events. Doesn't matter if it's $1,000 or $10,000 buy-in. For the World Poker Tour, I've always been playing the events. I probably should start playing some of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
We do. We play a lot of small.
Yeah, I like this. I like them all though, but I'm not in the same position. I'm more on Ellen Chesler's mindset where I want
to ask you something. How do you guys handle the chops? I really don't like to do that. But I don't want to be anti-social. But, like the WBT and the World Series, you can't chop them.
You don't chop those. Right. But, like, you don't
I was able
them.
to chop.
Except dailies.
Do you chop?
I was able to chop. What do you like World Series poker events?
No, I'm talking about like the smaller events where you can chop. Like, let's say, like the 2-pair poker tour. I'm sure you can.
Oh, yeah, you can chop in all of those.
Well, you can, but I don't really like to. But then I don't really want to be like anti-social where people
If you don't chop, you're going to piss off everybody.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
It's not necessarily.
But you shouldn't chop. You're losing money every time you chop. You're setting yourself up for a loss. I mean, did you join the tournament to win it, or did you join it to try to like triple your money or whatever and split your possible win with somebody else? You play to compete, right?
Well, you could play a tournament where first is we're going to hypothetically make a prize pool. First is 10,000. Second is, let's say, because they guaranteed first. And second, say, all the way down to 4,000. And then it goes down the line from there. And you get down to 3 of you, and you say, okay, well, if we all free chop, we all get, $7,000, which is in between second. So instead of having to worry about taking out 3 people, you're already making 2,000 more than second. So sometimes financially, if that's what you're in it for, it kind of makes sense.
Sometimes they do guarantee.
That's the only way I'll chop is if I can make, if there's like 4 or 5 players left, and I'm making no less than second, it's kind of hard to shoot that down. If I feel like I have a huge edge, I'm still going to look at it and maybe ask for an ICM, but it's always nice to go for the title. I had it on the Valley's main, and it's a small field, small buy-in, and it was 8,000 for first, and but second place was, if I remember right, it was like half of it. So we settled for a chop where I think I got like 6,700 plus trophy, but we each took 6K.
How did you do it?
They played the rest.
No,
they chopped it and then they played for the rest.
Well, see, here's the thing: is
how do you do this? How do you chop up the money?
If you just, what I do is what I did. He had me out checked, like 2-1, right? And I told him I would do an even chop, play for the trophy, or no chop.
Heck, even I would do that.
Or no,
if you got me 2-1, even I would do that.
Yeah, right. He had me 2-1, and he said no. And then after about, I think I won like 5 consecutive hands through aggression, he turned and said, okay, all right.
But now you're closer to even.
Kinda. I mean, I'm here, he's here, but I just don't think he felt confident. But yeah, I think I'm gravitating more and more to not chop.
Well, see, when you play the World Series, with WPC mains, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
When I play the small one, I have to think about, if I do this, how am I going to do it? Right? So I don't really want to get everybody same equity. I feel like I have the edge. So why should I chop? But I don't want to piss everybody off either.
Well, that's the thing is you are going to make people mad. And they're going to tell you karma's a bitch. And they always do. And then, and especially if you don't want to cut in a bubble. That's like the worst. Like you're like the worst person on the table if you don't want to cut in a bubble. And it's whatever. You got to do what's best for you, and you got to do what's best for your situation. You don't know. They don't know if you fire 2 bullets, 3 bullets, whatever into that tournament. And sometimes the chop does not financially make sense, but a lot of times it does. So I think what I do is if we're going to chop, it's going to be an even chop. I don't care if I'm the short stack or not, because I can come back in any time. So
I would agree to that.
Yeah, so
short and chip, but I'm saying like if you're fairly.
That's where the big stacks have to decide. Do they want to fight for it, or do they want to, because that's up to them. And a lot of times they will, because I'm stubborn, and so is he. I'm like, no, you are not going to count me out of this tournament. If you want to chop it, if you need to chop,
right.
Otherwise
I just play.
Otherwise, we'll play.
I guess that's all I have to do. So I only did it one time. I mean, it was like years ago at the bicycle casino. And then I didn't agree to chop. They got pissed off at me.
Oh, yeah.
Why would I want to chop? I felt like I got to edge on everybody.
Nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I was real confident. And I
we've pissed people off. And we've been, no, we're not going to chop, and we won it, and we know we're not going to chop, and we've lost it. So it's gone both ways.
And when you're the chip leader, that can turn around so fast.
Yeah.
We've all seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been the chip leader and then knocked out of the tournament.
Well, chip leaders find it their duty to knock out the short stack, so they're willing to call with less cards. And a short stack's a real easy stack to play. I mean, it's shove or fold. Shove or fold is basically where you're at with less than 20 big blinds. So it's an easy position to play, and you can push that big stack around with a short stack. You really can. And if they find it their duty to knock you out, they're calling with some pretty bad hands, and it's going to take some bad luck for them to knock you out. But it's happened.
I doubled up some people that, like for instance, the World Series of Poker. I was playing all the side events when you were winning bracelets, and while I was doing that, we chopped a three-way deep stack, which was still cool. So a couple $100 investment, and we got down to 3 people, and the next person out was only getting like 12,000, whereas first place was 30. So the 3 of us, and second wasn't even 20,000. We just all 3 took 20,000, and then played for the other 4,000.
So what position were you in though?
Second in chips.
Oh, so it's pretty effective.
That was second, but
you got second place. You split it even.
We split it 20,000, but you have to do a gentleman's chop.
What's that?
Where you have to do it amongst each other and hope that
hope that the guy with the first place card doesn't beat you to the cage and skip out like TJ Cloutier was famous for doing.
Jay did that?
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Did that?
Yeah, TJ Cloutier has done that a few times to people, where he agreed to a chop and then walked up with his card and walked away. We were talking about that down here in Oregon today, or this last week also, because when you chop in the house isn't required to agree with what you're doing. They're going to still give out, especially at the WSOP, they're going to give out the first place card, the second place card, the third place card, and the cage gives you your money. Well, now it's up to that person that just got handed their money to be honest and share it with the people that they agreed to share it with.
I thought the tournament was chopping.
No, they wouldn't do. And I didn't know this. And when I found out, I said, "Are you kidding me? There's this like 6'5" black guy, right? And I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna hold on to his ankle and he's going out the door. That's
nice. Like he stood there and counted out $7,000 and gave it to Rudy. Like it was amazing. I was like, wow, this is really cool. Because he was the one that ended up taking first place, so he was handed $32,000, and they agreed to an even way chop between 2 people.
But I only had to pay taxes on the 12 because I jammed every.
Yeah, so because if you took third place, you paid taxes on 12, but he got 20,000.
Well, that's kind of not fair, though.
Well, we played for the other 3,700. We all got 20, but there was a guy from another country.
There was a guy from Canada
that we unloaded the first place on.
Actually, he won a bracelet that year.
And Michael Malm. So and then the very next day he showed up. He missed the deep stacks. And I remember him mentioning, "Hey, are you going to play the whatever it was?" Now that we had the money, and I thought, well, I don't know. I think I might just stay with these deep stacks. They're fun. And then so he went and showed up. And the only thing playing was a mixed game for $2,500. Bought into it because there was nothing. He didn't know how to play half the games. won the darn thing.
He only knew how to play Hold'em, and he won.
And he said it in his interview. He picked it up as he was playing. And he said he just won the whole thing.
$250,000.
That's amazing.
And he played a mixed game where he only knew 1 game.
Yeah.
He said basically he would fold. You can read his article, it's hilarious.
Until Hold'em came.
And then he'd be all aggressive and get all his chips and then fold again for the other game.
Wow. Did anybody catch on to this?
I don't know.
No.
It was an interview. It was his interview, yeah.
But I mean, while he was, yeah.
So what's your immediate plans now once this tournament unravels and you're all finished up with the main? What's the next step?
Well, I was going to head off to Macau right away, but then I got tickets to CES. I want to stick around for CES and then watch the college football playoffs. But they don't, I hate that. When you're overseas, they don't show American sports, right? They only show soccer. When you're in Europe and Asia, you can't watch football, you can't watch baseball, you can't watch basketball. I hate that. So I'm going to stay here for the college football championship and then take off to Macau.
Are you a Sacramento Kings fan?
Huh?
Are you a Kings fan?
No, I'm a A's and Raiders fan, and I used to be a Laker fan. Well, I was, yeah. When I was in Sacramento, I guess I'm still a Kings fan.
Okay.
My loyalties aren't as strong.
Yeah,
For the A's and the Raiders.
for sure.
Yeah, you know how they were leaving, we're all pissed off, right?
Yeah, now we're in Vegas.
It's all
We're like,
changed.
come on,
Yeah,
come
there
on,
was like a couple of years you're not sure if they're staying, and now
Yeah.
we're in Vegas.
I was a team fan. I was those individual players fans, and then they all left, and everything changed, and now I'm not all that happy about it. So,
Sorry, that was off topic.
so now he's a Raiders fan and an A's fan.
Well, the A's, it's tough to be an A's fan.
And I know you really like
Except the Raiders
I know
fan.
you like the Raiders. I think
I like the A's too,
yeah.
but it's really tough to be an A's fan.
You know how to pick them.
Yes.
Raiders, A's.
Because we live in Sacramento, we didn't have any football, right? So you either have to be an A's or Giants.
I'm a Cowboys fan. I understand.
Are you from Dowland?
No,
How'd you pick this?
because my whole family's 49ers fans.
Yeah,
So, they played each other
She
in
goes against
93.
the grain.
Yeah, they played each other in
She's a black sheep,
93. Yes.
She's very stubborn.
And I went for the Cowboys against the Niners to go to the Super Bowl. So those
Oh,
years,
there's some great games.
yeah. You remember way back then,
Yeah,
my
the
whole
rivalry,
family.
yeah, Dallas and
And I was
Niners.
the only one that was like, go Cowboys. And I stuck with them ever since, but I just wanted to be against my whole family. And it was fun because I won, you know.
I think this might be a double bet. This might be the black sheep.
It's, yeah, but you know, I've stuck with them all these years, so I'm still a fan.
So you have any plans of settling down or anything like that? Maybe meeting another woman and kind of taking things as they go, or what's your plans?
Actually, I do, because as you get older, you know, right? I mean, I have like this, like this house here. Like, I mean, how big is this house?
About 4,000
Pretty big.
square
Pretty big.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty big. Mine is like 5,000 square feet. But you go in there, it's like, hello. Yeah, I feel like there's times when I think, yeah, wish I had a girlfriend. I know when I was younger, I was never ever lonely. But as you get older, it's like, yeah, it'd be nice to have someone to talk to, like to have someone to travel with, like you guys, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I
It's like-
understand you're only
it's
walking
like-
distance
Yeah.
from this house. Yeah. Pretty close anyway, so you'll have to
So
come
party
by.
at your house.
Huh?
Party at your house.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, like
I'm
you said,
not as furnished as you guys. I need to get my poker table. I need to get
Yeah.
I need to get that mister for the back pool. If you guys,
Yeah,
any
that's
of you guys grill masters?
Yeah, I was going to
Are
say.
you really?
Rudy.
What?
Rudy's a girl.
Well, no.
Yes.
I do like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah.
I got the built-in barbecue, but I'm not really a grill master. I need someone to like grill the meat for it.
Well,
Just put the Mexican
yeah,
to work.
count me in.
Hometown tacos. Where are they at? They're like
Oh,
those guys.
man.
I don't know
We'll
where
have to
they're
have a big ass barbecue over at Steve V's house.
Well, it's pretty neat meeting people here in Vegas. Where I thought initially it was going to be impossible. I said this place is so transient. How can you possibly make a friend? You know, so it just. But my ideals have changed in Vegas. I found a few good people, and I really like to hang on to them. And you know, especially in a place like Vegas where it's hard and you travel a lot.
How
So.
long you guys in there?
Well, we've been here in Vegas now, I think, for about 2 years, coming up on 2 years.
Like same as me. I've been here about 2 years. When did you buy your house?
Oh, wow.
We
We moved in here
Yeah,
in March.
huh?
We don't own it.
How
yeah,
long have you been here? What month?
not
March.
here, but we
Somewhere in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it's about 2 years. I think I moved in like, actually, no, it was October. Because I was in Europe actually when I closed on my house. I was in Kansas. I didn't even do the walkthrough. I know, my agent had to do the walkthrough. And we did like, yes, fax all the paperwork to me and stuff. So actually we closed in October of 2000, what was this? September of 2012.
Wow.
We'll be 2 years in March.
Yeah. I love it here though. Like you said.
It's fun.
It's, you know, I can't believe that I even moved from Sacramento. So I'm kind of like a home, you know, just a stay-at-home kind of guy. And all my roots are in Sacramento. I'm not you know, some people are really adventurous. They just take off. They're like New York, Chicago. I spent a whole life in Sacramento. I never thought I would move.
So now you're going and eating
I
chicken.
love
breasts
Vegas
and-
now.
Yeah.
I moved here and it's like, I love Las Vegas.
So what do you
Yeah.
do?
24/7 poker games are anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
And you can't get lost there. Well, you knew, right? I just get out of my car. Oh, there's a strip right there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do that in Sacramento.
No.
I'm like, where the heck am
The
I?
skyline in Sacramento is like,
In Vegas, I just get on my car and look for the strip there. There, it's there.
Yeah. because you can see it from almost anywhere, and the air quality here is better, believe it or not.
Yeah,
You know.
I love Las Vegas.
So you travel alone when you go, or you just venture off?
Well, for tournaments, for vacation, I usually travel with friends. Okay. But like for tournaments, a lot of times I do travel by myself. Not like like the younger guys. They all have like their posse, which makes it easier. It makes it easier.
So yeah,
Easier to be alone.
No, I mean it makes you travel on a group. It's easier because I think when you travel by yourself, it can wear on you a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I mean, if we travel like the four of us, it'd be more fun, right? Mm-hmm. But then when you're in between adventures,
well, next time you go somewhere, I'll come with you. Yeah.
I'm down.
Well, Berlin, right? I'm looking forward to that. WSOP
in
Berlin.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll be there for sure. I'm there.
Yeah, I'm going for sure. Cause there's like a World Poker Tour, I think in London, like last year there was like London, right before the WSOP. So I was going to play the WPT and then the WSOP in Berlin. There's a European Poker Tour stuff.
Oh. Interesting.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you're going to be very worldly by the time you do stop traveling. You'll have seen everything. Do you see yourself living in America the whole time, or do you found anything better?
That's the funny thing, because I always thought I would be in America, but now as I've gotten older and I travel up, I said, I might split. I'm going to sell my house in Sacramento, and then I'm going to probably buy a condo in like Hong Kong, Macau, Thailand, somewhere, and split my time in Asia.
It's nice over there, isn't it?
Yeah, but the only bad thing is like then you can't really stay and enjoy your house, and you can't enjoy your cars. I just sold my Porsche. I haven't bought another one yet because I'm never home. The BMW that I have is like plugged up to a battery maintainer.
Oh, wow.
But I love driving sports cars. So I was like, I got to get that Porsche and replace it. But then it's like, I'm never here.
So, what do you recommend for somebody that wants to be as successful as you and follow in your footsteps? Would you recommend doing the exact thing, or would you make it because of different time and age, different strategy, or what would you tell?
I think it's like anything else in life. If you want to be good, you have to have a passion for that. You have to put the time in, and you can't just be messing around. You have to right? So you have to work hard. Whether you're in school, whether you're playing sports, whether you're playing poker, if you want to be good, you can't just sit and think, man, I want to win a tournament. You got to do your homework, practice, play cash game, play tournaments, and take something from it after every session. So I don't know whether all the players do this. I do still. When I play a cash game, I go home. Whether I win or lose, I don't just go to sleep and forget about it. I'm sitting there thinking over the key hands that I played, the ones that I won, the ones I have lost. Yeah. Did I play that hand right? Could I have played better? Could I have won more? Could I have lost? Like the hands that I lost, did I play that hand right? Could I have minimized my loss? So it's like a learning. You're always trying to improve your game. I've never ever got to a point where I feel like I don't need to learn anymore. I just play and go home and forget about it. I never do that. That's good. And I tell, actually, I was teaching some students, and I tell everybody, you have to keep track of your results. To do that. Mm-hmm. I record every single session I play, cash and tournament, and that's how I developed my game way back in the day, age 5, and now I'm rolling and rolling. So I have to tell you, this is like the worst year of my career. I have never lost more. I'm down like 50,000 right now, which is, I don't know whether people think it's a lot or not, but I've never lost.
Right.
I haven't had a losing season, and since when I started, I did, when I first picked up poker, I would lose like 1,000, 2,000, small, but that's small. So my biggest loss coming into this year was like 8,000. And this year I'm down 50. But then I can't really complain because I won so much in tournaments and cash. But the thing that gets me going is the fact that I have my track every session. So I know that as a player, you're sitting there doubting yourself, like, God, I don't know what the heck's going on today. You feel hope. But when I look at my results, that gives me confidence. That tells me, Steve, you're doing a lot of things right? And you just have to forget this year. When you have the results, and then you know that you're doing something. Because if you don't keep track, how would you know whether you're playing the game right or not? But I tell my students, if you keep track of all your sessions, and if you're losing over a long time, I'm not talking about individual sessions, over a long period, that tells you that there's hope in your game. Mm-hmm. And by the same token, if you're winning, that tells you that you're doing a lot of things right. You just keep doing those things over again. Right. But if you don't keep track of your sessions, and if you don't know where you stand, you're not really going to know whether you're playing the game right or not. Unless you're just winning like crazy. Yeah. And you just know you're doing something right. But
it's
that's
important.
why you should keep track of that. For me, I know, my results are really good in cash and tournament, so I'm not gonna like break my, the way I play them. I might make little tweaks and make adjustments, but I know that fundamentally I'm sound and I have a solid base, and that helps me to go through a year like this. And I'm thinking like, what the heck is going on? Because they're crushing.
And that is some sound advice. I like it. I think
But
that is.
even though I'm getting crushed in tournaments, I'm still crushing cash. That's why I'm only down 50.
Oh, there you go.
That's why I'm only down 50.
Oh, I was gonna say your buy-ins are big.
Right. I haven't been playing that. See, the other thing too is that I played more tournaments and because I've been kind of lazy not playing the cash game. Otherwise, I would have. Because I haven't been playing that with cash.
Okay. Wow. Well, there's a guy in the Orleans I want to bring up, and I don't know if this is as far as you might take it, but he tracks. I could see him. He busts out his notepad every time he takes a big beating.
Jotting down a little bit.
And he jots it down.
One of the guys I play with does that.
They used to do that.
Huh? Oh, you do that?
No, I don't do it. I've never gone that far.
I haven't gone that far.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you think the benefit of jotting down your big hands that you're winning and your big hands that you're losing inside a documented game, having a game that you could go back and look at?
Well, that's the beauty of online poker, right? That you can get your hand history. When you play live, you can't do that. So I could see the benefits of documenting your key hand. But I've seen players document every hand. I don't want to see that. If you do that, then you're not paying attention to the table. And you need to be aware of what your opponents are doing.
He's only doing a few, and I noticed
it's okay with him. I think it's okay with hands. I wouldn't recommend tracking every single hand.
Not every.
But then you're not paying attention to the table. You need to pay attention to it.
Now, what I do when I'm playing is it's something that I just kind of feel. You could feel the roller coaster, how the tournament, the essence of the tournament, how it's going, and stuff like that. And I guess it kind of helps track that. So you can say, yeah, this hand doesn't play very strong at this point in the game. Whereas later in the tournament, this might play really, really good. And that's the only benefit I could see. But I don't really know. It seems pretty extensive to go that far.
What's that? The track?
The tracking your hand, not every hand, just your hands, your giant hands that you're winning and the big losing hands.
Well, I don't really do that just to help me progress to a term. I do that to kind of reinforce behavior, to let you know how to play if you can. I mean, for example, you have Jack 10 suited, and at some point in time, a key moment comes up. I think I just want to learn how I play that hand. So the next time the Jack 10 comes up, I want to know how to play that hand in that specific situation versus however many opponents you're playing against. It's not really help me track the players at my table. It's really more it's how to play that Jack 10 suited rather than against these guys at this table. So I don't do that.
Right.
So do you have a different style for cash games and tournaments? And I know it might not be the right. Different cards that you play, different draws that you go on.
You do, right?
To be honest with you, I don't play a whole lot of cash, but I would say that I'm tighter in a cash game than a tournament. Whereas most people think
actually, that's funny.
It's the other way around.
I think I actually play tighter in a tournament,
which is why I'm a terrible cash game player.
Because in a cash game, I play with no fear in a cash game.
Right.
I can reload.
Right.
But in a tournament, I'm worried about my tournament money.
Right.
And that's how come, in 2012 when I made the final table, I don't know whether you saw the hand where I laid down top two there. I had ace king, and people said I was a donkey. I had no chance at the final table because I got bluffed out. I had 5 high. And I laid down top two, ace king. And he had me covered. The reason I laid it down was because I had played with him for 4 hours in the corner before we got on TV. And he was rock solid. There was no creative. He didn't play with a lot of imagination. He was a pretty solid player. And then we got moved to the TV table. And he had a lot of chips. And his play just didn't make any sense to me. Because I had raised him under the gun. The ace king. They got a call. He called me on the button. And the flop is ace jack 7. Rainbow. And I lead. The middle guy mucks. And he raised me. And I'm thinking oh shit, right? So we got Jack, ace 7, set of 7, flat, I could call. And then the turn was a king. I got top two of ace, king, jack, seven. I check, and he bets, and I call. Because I'm worried about I'm worried about that. And then the river is like a jack, and I check, and he puts me all in. I'm like, wow, what can I beat that? Right? And this is not against a creative, this is against a tight player. And I'm up to hand, he shows a 5-5. And the reason I muck was I worried about my tournament life. I'm like, God, he's so solid. If I muck, I still got chipped, I had a chance, and I ultimately went on to the final. This is like day 6, right? Day 6. And he didn't make it.
I think that you made the right decision, regardless if he was
bluffing
or not.
like that. That's why.
Yeah.
I have forgotten I got the TV effect that players do that because they want to go on YouTube. It's on YouTube. He left me out with 5-5. But that's talking like in the cash games. I'd have picked them off right. There's no way I'm going to hand win the cash game. But the tournament, I was worried about my tournament life, and I'm talking about play tighter.
Right.
Even though I went off, and I bluffed my way.
Right.
But I mean, tight. In terms of tight calling. I mean, I'm still.
You can bluff more in a tournament.
Aggressive. I can't not be aggressive when I play.
I did see a big bluff you did when I was watching on TV, and but you must have sensed that the guy wasn't that strong because he had ace jack, I believe.
Well, I think there was a big bluff. There's so many of them.
There was a big bluff.
I had so many bluffs.
Yes.
That particular hand that they did like a poker with the hand analysis when I had the king queen of diamonds, and I think he had like ace ten of diamonds, and he had raised 3 flops when I called, and then he bet the flop, bet the turn, bet the river, and I raised him in the river. He must. And it turned out we both had flush draw, and it flopped with a flush draw with one Broadway card. And he bet 3 barrels. I'm like, how can you bet 3 barrels? Right? If the flush thing gets there, the straight thing gets there, if you have one pair,
there's only thing he can do.
Right. Unless he has a set, he's going to call me if you go up the set, but he really can't. So I raised him, and he must. He had 87 the diamond, and I came to the diamond. So Lana said, actually, at the turn, they were going to win. He was actually drawing pretty slim. Doesn't know that, but diamond company busted, But in my mind, I thought I had the diamond drawn. I thought I came to the open first.
Right.
But anyway, that's why I raised him. But I said, how can you fit 3 barrels of this?
Wow. That's pretty sharky.
But there was a lot. But I remember then on day 6, I had a big bluff, and I thought that cost me the final table. I raised again with king jack this time. I raised the turn and set the river, and the guy had a set, and he had trips. I thought he was weak because he had raised 3 flops. He had check the flop. So I said, he bet, I'm going to raise him. Right, he checked. I said, you check, I'm going to bet. And he bet, so I raised him on the turn. And it took him like 5 minutes to call me. So I thought he was weak. And I said, well, I got to bet the river. I bet the river. It took me 3-4 minutes and call. And that hand kind of crippled me because I lost at 1.3 billion. I went home sleeping that night thinking like, man, Steve, you just cost yourself the final table. I get to bluff off $1.5 million.
Right.
but when I told myself, I said, you know what? I thought that was the correct play and just have to play the situation.
Well, it probably most of the time it is the correct play.
Yeah, because he had that trip. He had trips.
He played it so weak.
He would have called if he didn't have trips.
Exactly. So you got to put yourself in his mindset.
Yeah.
He's worried about what you have.
I didn't think he had an 8 because he raised 3 flops.
Right. Right.
So then I said, you know what? You just have to play your game, even though that might have cost you the final table. So day 7, I did the same thing. I just
and he chipped back up. What was the hand?
It was Doyle Brunson that they didn't come. I think they showed that one. That was a big stuff. That was like, what happened was like, I just got moved to the TV table with Brunson. And it's my budget, big line, right? Everybody folds. I raised Brunson mucks. I mean, I stole the blind. I didn't have anything. The next time around, I raised. He must again. The next time around, I raised, and he called this time. And I had 7-5 offsuit. And I think the flop was like something. He had 8-10, but he had an open-ended straight draw. So it was 7-9 queen. 7-9 queen, rainbow. He checked. I bet. I had to bet. And he called. And then the turn was a king. And that was another overcard. He checked. I bet again. And he called. And then the river, he checked. And I wanted to bet, but I checked. And I flipped. But I had a pair of them. I paired the 7. I paired the 7. And he gave me the dirty look. And he's a nice guy. I knew he was going to be after me. Right?
Because you raised
after
3 times
that.
the button,
and then I raised a 7, and then he shot my 7-5.
Right.
So the very next time, I know he's going to rape me, so I said, I'm not going to play unless I have him off.
Right.
And I picked up queen 10 suited. roster on the button. They all fold again. So I raised again, and he 3-bets me. He had king 6 off. He 3-bets me, and the flop is like ace, ace 3. So I had no flush draw, no straight draw, no pair, nothing. But I know he's going to bluff me, and he has a bet. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to float him, right? Because I know I don't think he has anything. So I'm just going to float him, which I did. And I said, if he checks, I'm going to bet and take the pot down. But then that's the whole bunch of them, right? So the flop was the turn was a 3. Now it's ace, ace, 3, 3. So he checked, and I have to bet because that was my original plan, right? So I bet, and he calls me king 6. He had nothing. I had nothing. And then the river was like the ace. And
So it's a chop on. No way.
It was a
You're
chop.
so lucky.
When he called me on the turn, I was like, I was so scared. I'm like, what am I going to do? I think I have to bet one more time. I don't think I can check, right? I don't think I can check. I got to bet one more
Do
time.
you think he would have called you? If
I don't know if he would have called me.
I don't know. He might
But
have.
it was a boat at the river, and I chickened out and I checked. And I checked, and we split the pot.
Wow.
And he laughed at me, But that hand, they didn't, like, the Tony said, well, Doyle played that hand really well. And I'm like, well, so did Steve, But then Doyle, he's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah.
So there's just so many bluffs. I was going to float him and take the pot down. He called me with king high. I said, wow, are you kidding?
Here's the thing is I found that if you don't mix it up when it's your blind, when you have somebody that's making that continuous play, it'll send a bad signal that, okay, I'm just going to lay my hands down unless I have ace king, And so if you don't mix it up with them like that, they'll never slow down.
But I said, Doyle, is that in Super System somewhere to beat that with king 6? He's a nice guy, though.
Yeah, I think he just probably wanted to slow you down.
He did.
Aggression goes a long ways, really. That's interesting.
And I might have won that hand against anybody else when I bet the turn, but Doyle. So he called me on the turn. Yeah. Wow, he's never seen him play before, and he still calls me king high.
Wow. He's we ran into him at Sweet Tomatoes, but a few months back, and he was sitting at one table over. Down the road, it's a giant salad buffet. They have other things there too, but him and his wife, and we're having a really nice looking salad. It's a great place. I love it. We eat there probably
Sweet
once a
Tomatoes.
month. Yeah.
Well, he's a gentleman, though.
Yeah, he's so nice. Yeah, he seems pretty cool. I enjoy Vegas though, and even though I fantasize about moving off to somewhere exotic, maybe like somewhere where there's more trees and exotic.
There's the Bahamas.
That'd be good.
I like South America, even though it's undeveloped. But
Kind of dangerous.
It might even be dangerous.
Vegas is dangerous.
I'm talking about Colombia with a drug cartel. Nicaragua with a civil war zone. I'm not going down there.
I don't know where. I haven't done a whole lot of traveling. I think that I hate to settle for the only thing I've ever seen. About seeing the rest first. Kind of what you're doing.
It is eye-opening, though. I think the biggest difference, like when we travel in the U.S., it's seamless. When we go here to New York to Chicago, right? Our money's good, our credit's good, everything.
Yeah.
But when you go overseas, it's like, God, I gotta get new money, the language, right?
That's
right. English, so you have to worry about the language, the money, the credit cards.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
I would be lost. I'd be like, what? Yeah, no language.
You have any kids out there? Or?
I have one. She's actually in medical school.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations.
First year medical school.
Nice.
Wow. I bet you're proud.
Huh?
I bet you're proud.
Yeah, she is, but she won't be playing poker again. That's what I thought. We don't have to worry about her at the poker table because she's going to be a doctor.
Did you try to get her to play poker?
No, I would. You know what? I would never tell kids that you don't need to go to school. Just quit.
Just quit.
You got to go to. You have to go to graduate high school. You got to go to college. It's always nice to have a degree to back. In case it doesn't work out. Rather than say, "Hey, I'm going to be a professional poker player. I don't need to go to school." Well, you better get something.
Apparently, my son wants to play video games and work at Walmart. I know. I'm like, what?
You plan on living here with me the rest of your life?
I said, how are you going to feed yourself? So I'll get a job at Walmart. I'm like, no, how are you going to feed yourself?
And insurance, if you break your arm, what are you going to do?
It's all the video games they sell on the shelves down there, I think. wooed
I
him
think he's
over.
more interested, yes, in what they're selling than actually working there. Maybe he thinks that he could play video games. Well, I don't know. But he's 7. I'll give him a pass on that one. 7.
Ah, he's got a
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still in that.
Yeah,
Like,
little
that's how
kid,
it's
little
cool
kid,
to
let him
work
be a
at
kid.
McDonald's
Let him be a
kind of
kid.
thing.
So whatever happened to Nate? Did he?
I
He's
think
signed off somewhere.
I think he fell off and whatever. But
Well, who's been cashing here? Is it Nate that's been cashing the last couple of times?
I think
Rudy?
Rudy mostly, yeah. Nate
You did
did.
too, right?
Yeah, I cashed.
I mean, I see your post. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm like, I haven't cashed.
Well, you know, like
We pick and choose. We really pick and choose what we're playing
I
too.
played 7 tournaments in Australia. I didn't catch any of them.
Let me ask you what you would do in this situation. Now, this is my situation. Just to forewarn you, it was over at the Golden Nugget a couple weeks back, and it was a tournament. It was a 135, 50,000 guarantee. It got us like 82,000 for 135, 811 runners. We get it down to it's at the end of the month, pretty much every month, with the exception of December at the Golden Nugget. And we get down to 84 of us, and I'm thinking, oh,
How many catch?
81.
Oh.
So now this changes. We go from a sea of tables to just 10 left. And, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna cash for sure. Average.
I don't know about that.
Average is I generally do when I get that close, but average is I think like 130,000 chips. I've got 160, and so I'm just kind of treading that line, But I'm not, on anybody's radar. But I'm hanging in there with a good.
You're in good shape.
Yeah, good shape. I've got somebody over here in the hijack who is constantly making that, raise. Like we were talking about.
Also point out, this is a friend of ours too, somebody we know.
But he's an aggressive player. Right?
She was an aggressive player.
Yeah.
Lynn mentioned, I don't know if you know her. She's sitting over in the hijack, so she raised for maybe the 5th or 6th time in one round or two. And I'm thinking, this is no good. I know what's going on here. So I'm going to make a play back and take that risk.
Where are you at?
I'm on the big blind.
Oh, you're the big one.
And so the button folds. The small blind is a pretty decent player. And I'm thinking he's taking his time. I'm like, well, maybe he already spotted this weakness in her game and he's going to make a play at it. If he flats, we'll see what I do. Anyways, he re-raised, and I automatically took him for a raise. He just double or 2.5. Yeah. So I have ace queen of diamonds. And so I'm thinking, wow, this is a great squeeze play. Olin, what do you think about that play?
I mean, really doesn't matter whether you won or lost to him. I actually love them. How many big blinds did you have?
Well, the average was 130.
You got too many big blinds to shove like that.
I know. But I thought, here's the thing.
You're
We had
above
at least
average.
50 big blinds.
Here's
average.
I would have preferred like a 3 times raise. That's one.
So, well, I have 160.
Still squeeze them because you're going to shut the hijack off the opposition on that guy without committing all of your chips.
So if I re-raise, then I have to go 96,000 when I have a total of 160.
Oh, okay, then.
Because
I didn't know how much
he
you had.
raised it to 34,000 and I have 160. She raised to 15 or 16. He raised it to like 34. And so
80.
I'm thinking with the antes and that deep in the tournament, if I shove this stack, I'm taking a nice, and I thought there
30 and you had 160 left.
yeah. So
What
there's
blinds at the time?
the blinds
How many big
were. The blinds were 3-6, getting ready to go to 4-8. So if it was 3-6,
I don't hate the play. I don't hate the play.
yeah.
That's not what he had.
I would have raised to like 85. So you raised to 85, you go 160, you're committed.
I'm
anyway.
committed anyways.
But I can still shut that first guy out, and I'm going to have position on the small blind. And
Yeah.
if they shove, then I'm going to call. You're going to call. You're going to commit to call anyway.
So I'm committed anyway.
Right,
so I
you're
thought
committed
my
to
best
call anyway.
chances
Right,
with my
right.
stack is if I go all in, the best chances they have of me taking the pot first off is that they fold. Because if I re-raise, I'm more than committed.
Yes, you're going to call anyway.
No matter
Yeah.
what. So the flop is.
But I wanted to say something like a 50 flop.
Right.
Shut that guy down, then I could flip the flop.
He ends up with pocket keys.
You're screwed anyway.
Well, I flop an ace.
You're screwed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
Either way.
You're not getting away.
I'm not getting
But
away.
I can tell you, I'm not throwing that in.
Right. So, anyways, I jam it. He calls. I flop an ace. He turns it.
I don't get it. What happened? You lost,
I
right?
flop an ace. He turns it. Oh, yeah. That's how that happened.
I don't think you could have got away. I think it really depends on what your
Heather thinks I should have mucked because I was too close.
No,
to
I
the
Well,
think you should have platted there.
that's not the option.
Yeah,
You
and
should
then-
have done it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
you've always told me I should muck. So
the
now you
original
think I
razor
should
is
muck.
gone.
No, but you flapped it and the hijack from the column, you're not in a position.
I don't
Yes.
If I raising,
But
I keep the hijack on, I come position.
Exactly.
I believe that, but see, this is also in hindsight because I know the ace
Yeah,
flops.
you already know that.
So now that I know the ace flops, I feel like a flat call there is good because then he can then jam it.
But
She
my
can't
hand's
call.
too vulnerable.
She can't call.
But you know what? Though? It really goes back to your philosophy of what are you trying to do. I know that when I play, I'm not even thinking about cash. I don't care about cash.
I said to her I'm playing for first.
On the money bubble, everybody's playing real conservative.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the other way. I'm ramming and jamming. I'm taking advantage of it because I don't care about catching. But you have to win. Unlike you. I want to win. I don't even want to make fun. I want to come in the top three.
I wanna
I'm always
win.
trying to build up, and that's why. So, like if Heather had this, if you're trying to cash, then she's right. You can muck that.
I could muck it.
You can muck it to try to get the
It was
money.
$200 to
Right,
cash.
but I never ever played the cash.
Yeah.
Even the WSLP main event, I'm not playing the cash.
You playing for first. That's the only
Right.
spot.
I'm always playing.
I'm starting to lean towards
Yeah,
too.
that was a
I
great
might be a
squeeze
bad
play.
person to ask, because,
Well,
I fluffed up a quarter.
here's the
million.
difference. if I have 300,000, then I would say a raise to 90,000 is appropriate because then I could let it go. Yeah,
But with your stack,
with my stack, I
once
could.
you're playing,
Yeah.
you're screwed.
Yeah,
Well, it
but
looks like we're about out of time. I don't know how long he's going to let us keep
So
going.
you're playing to win, right?
All the time.
And you're playing to cash. So
No, I'm playing to
there's a
win.
philosophy.
But I
that you
take
have.
tournaments and I have I look at it as steps. Like if it's a 2-day event, I need to make it to day 2. That's step 1.
Right.
Step 2 is
Me too.
cashing. Step 3 is final table. Step 4 is winning. You know what I mean? So like I kind of look at it as steps.
Well,
You only get so many opportunities.
I agree, but one of the steps of winning is cashing. So you have to get into the money to be able to make it.
I
to
hear
the
what you're
table.
saying.
I
because
agree.
That's all.
I hear what you're
That's how I
saying.
think.
Because when I sit down on day 1 of the World Series, I think the same thing. I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to make day 2, right?
Yeah.
It's really one day at a time. But the ultimate goal for me is to win. So when I get to the money, it kind of helps you get through the tournament. But once I get to the money bubble, I'm not playing the cash. I don't care. I'm playing to win. I'm playing for the win. I think psychologically helping on day 1 from the 3,000 players to say, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to make it.
Trying to make it.
Yeah.
Like when I'm playing the main event. I'm playing to win, but on day 1, I'm not trying to win the tournament day 1.
Right.
I'm trying to get to day 2.
I also run really cold there. And, when we're in that spot, it's very suspicious when you have the hijack and then the other guy making a play. It's like, I'm
Absolutely.
shutting this down.
Especially when you're telling me that this girl's really aggressive and ready
She
to
was
raise so many hands.
She was aggressive, and so was the guy. The guy was aggressive, and I knew he saw
That's what I mean. I don't give them any credit. I don't give them a whole lot of credit when they do that, right? So, ace queen, I'm thinking I'm cold.
So how do we
Close
close
this out.
down?
All right.
So,
Say goodnight.
all right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
joining.
listening
All
to
right,
the
that was
BigAss Poker Show. Thank you, Steve G. Good night, says Rudy and Angel.
Good night.
Bye-bye.